Hello everyone. So in our previous lecture, we had covered about the Buddhism and Jainism, and in this lecture, we will cover about the Mauryans and the Gupta empires. Okay, and we will learn about them one by one, starting with the Mauryans, then coming up to the Guptas. Okay, so let's begin. First is Mauryans. Okay, so what was the Mauryan Empire? What was the Mauryan? Sorry. Right? What was the Mauryan Empire? Okay. The Mauryans were an ancient Indian dynasty that played a significant role in shaping the political landscape and the history of the Indian subcontinent. Before begin with this, let me tell you one thing, that suppose if we live in a North India, that is a North India in today's world, then it is a Pakistan, then it is a Afghanistan. Got it? If this is Afghanistan, this is Pakistan, this is India, and this is a North India basically. You can say North India and then East India. Got it? In this today's world, if we consider these things, then in the ancient times, something was happening on that side, because these things in today are separated from each other. Like Afghanistan is a separate country, Pakistan is a separate country, and India is a separate country. But the time period of ancient history or the ancient Indian history, these three countries were only one, that is called the India. Only India. Okay, that is the India, and that area is basically of Iran, and beyond this was Greek, and you can say ancient Europeans. Okay, so what happened? The ruler of the Greek, first one, his name was Alexander the Great. Alexander the Great. Okay, he was not so old on the time when he became a ruler. He was a young person of nearly about 20 years of age. Okay, in the year of 20 years of age, he decided to conquer the world. He decided to launch an expedition to the nearby countries and acquire their territory one by one. Okay, and he was a ruler of, you can say, Macedonia. He was the ruler of Macedonia, and the capital was Alexandria. Okay, so Alexander was the ruler of Macedonia. In the age of 20 years, he decided to conquer the nearby countries or nearby state which were existed on that time, and the capital of his country was Alexandria. Okay, so in his expedition, he began from the Macedonia. It is Macedonia. He attacked on the nearby countries, including present-day Iran. On that time, you called it Persia. Okay. And who was the ruler of Persia on that time? The ruler was Darius III, also called Darya Bahu. In Indian language, you can say Darya Bahu. His name was Darius I. Let me write down the name again. Darius III. Okay. So he was a ruler of Iran, Persia on that time when Alexander attacked the Iran. Got it? And Darius' grandfather, who was Darius I, had acquired the western part of India, means the Afghanistan area, which was called on that time Sindh, or you can call it Sindhu. Okay, he acquired that area, and in that area they supplied the books, knowledge and wealth back to the Iran or Persian Empire, you can say. Okay, so when Alexander attacked the Iran, he got through these records which the Darius first and his army got from that area. Okay, and then Alexander came to know about that in the east there is a country called India which had a good number of people, which had a good number of economy activities, which had a wealthiest nature of country. So he decided to acquire India, and then he launched his expedition to the western part. He launched his expedition to the western part where he defeated Porus. Porus was the ruler of western side. Okay. After defeating Porus, he tried to conquer the inner part of India as well. That area. Okay. But in that area, we had a ruler called Dhananand. He was a ruler of that area on this time. Okay. And also had some territory in present day Pakistan area. Got it? And Dhananand had a huge army of more than 2 lakh soldiers. He had an army of more than 2 lakh soldiers, whereas Alexander only had an army of 20,000 soldiers. Okay, so the Porus advised him not to attack the eastern side of India because Dhananand was there, who had a huge number of army and could have launched an expedition against them. Got it? And the question is, why did Porus advise? What was the reason? Because after defeating Porus, Alexander make an alliance with Porus. Got it? And during this whole process, there was one person called Chanakya. Also, he was called Kautilya. Okay. That person, Chanakya, also we called him Kautilya. He reached Dhananand and warned him about Alexander. He said that, Mr. King, Alexander had some negative intentions regarding conquering this part of country which you are ruling. And if we want to stop him, we should attack him first. Otherwise, we will not be able to stop him. But what happened? Dhananand ignored his advice, Chanakya's advice, and even insulted him. He thrown him outside the palace, and then Chanakya decided to replace Dhananand. Okay. And he got succeed and bring the ruler called Chandragupta Maurya. We will learn about him in a little bit time. Okay. And that's how the Mauryan Empire was founded. And we can see that Mauryan Empire was one of the first major empires in India and lasted approximately 322 BCE to 185 BCE. So this is all about the first, or you can say the earlier activities or early instances that took place before the formation of Mauryan Empire. Got it? Now come to the next point. It's called the founder and the rise of the Mauryan Empire. As I have told you, after getting insulted by Dhananand, Chanakya decided to overthrow him, but he was in a search of a perfect candidate whom he could select, and the person who would be able to replace Dhananand, a person who had an army of more than 2 lakh soldiers. Got it? So he got Chandragupta Maurya as a perfect candidate. He taught him various things. He made him what he was during the time when he conquered Dhananand. Okay. And also with Chandragupta Maurya, Kautilya, or you can say the Chanakya, made several policies whom he believed the king should work in order to get a greater success in administration, in military expedition, and in flourishing of the economy. And his all teachings are recorded in 2 books basically. First book is called Arth Shastra, and second book is called Chanakya Niti. Okay, so he also wrote these two books in which his various teachings were written down, Arthashastra and Chanakya Niti. Got it? Chandragupta Maurya was a skilled military leader and a strategist, overthrew the Nanda dynasty, which was ruling the Magad region, and established the Mauryan dynasty or Mauryan Empire around 322 BC. Got it? And also, as I have told you, that there were the Greeks who had eyes on India, and after defeating Porus, they were able to conquer the area of Afghanistan. Okay, and then present day Pakistan and the northwestern part of India. Okay, and Chanakya, you can say the Chanakya, Kautilya, he was very much aware about the Greeks' intention to conquer the Indian part after conquering the Afghanistan. So he advised the Chandragupta Maurya that we should attack Greeks, and made several boundary agreements with them that you could not come here and you could not come here and we could not go there. Okay, in order to achieving these things, Chandragupta Maurya had a treaty with Greek ruler called Seleucus Nicator. Okay. He made a treaty with him that the Hindu Kush mountain, these are the Hindu Kush mountains, their name is Hindu Kush. Hindu Kush mountains. He made the Hindu Kush mountains as a boundary between the Greeks and the Indians. Got it? And also to ensure that the Greeks would never betray this treaty, he married with Helena. Helena was a daughter of Seleucus Nicator. Got it? So he married with the Helena, who was the daughter of the Seleucus Nicator. Also, he made a treaty with the Seleucus Nicator that the western area of Hindu Kush mountain will be a part of Greeks and the eastern area of Hindu Kush mountains will be a part of Indians. Got it? Got it? Now, come to the next point. Chandragupta Maurya's reign was marked by territorial expansion and the consolidation of his empire. Okay, like, let me give you an example. Suppose if this, okay, suppose if this entire belt was North India of that time, then Chandragupta was a ruler of Magad. He was a ruler of Magad. Or you can say present day Bihar and Jharkhand area. Okay. And it is a western part. Afghanistan and Pakistan area. Afghanistan and Pakistan area. Okay. So he was a ruler of Magad, and this was the area of Afghanistan plus Pakistan, the western area. Okay. And Chanakya know that there is a buffer zone between them. There was a buffer zone between them. Like there were so many rulers, dynasty or tribal areas in between Magad and the western part of India. So Chanakya wanted Chandragupta to get a control over these areas as well. These areas as well, so that none of the invaders would be able to come to the Magad. Okay, so his reason was marked by the territorial expansion and the consolidation of his empire. On advice of Chanakya, he decided to conquer that area and he expanded the empire up to the Afghanistan area. Afghanistan area. Got it? Now, come to the next point. He served the council of Chanakya, also known as Kautilya Vishnugupta, renowned scholar and advisor who played a crucial role in Chandragupta's rise to power. As I have already told you that he was the one, Chanakya was the one who brought Chandragupta into the power, displaced Dhananand. Okay. And then also ensure that Magad should rise to the western area so that none of the invaders would be able to come inside the India. Got it? Now, Bindusara and Ashoka. Okay. Who was the Bindusara? He was the son of Chandragupta first, or Chandragupta Maurya. He was the son of Chandragupta Maurya. Okay, and there is an interesting story behind his name, Bindusara. It says that he was born by the last drop of poison. Last drop of poison. That's why he called Bindu Tara. It's a first explanation of his name. Second explanation states that he had a blue marking on his body. That's why he called Bindusara. Got it? Bindusara was a strong ruler of the Mauryan Empire, that he was ruling the Magad but had his control up to Deccan, also called the southern India, as well as at western part. And he was called Amrito Chariots by Greeks. So, if the question asks which ruler called the Amrito Chariots, then the answer will be Bindusara, because the Greeks called him Amrito Chariots. Got it? Now, come to the next one. Who was Ashoka? Ashoka was the son of Bindusara, and he was well known for his expedition to the Indian parts, more than the limit of the Mauryan Empire or the Magad Empire on that time. And that's why he was also called the Ashoka the Great, and his name was Chakravartin Ashok Samrat. It was his name because he was expanding the empire. He was expanded the Mauryan Empire. Got it? So that's why he called the name of Ashoka the Great, also called the Chakravartin Ashok Samrat. Okay. And there is also a story behind his name. Like, his name was Ashoka provided him by his mother, who said, now I am free of sorrow. Got it? Actually, there is a legend or there is a story says that Ashoka mother was not getting pregnant, was not giving the birth to any child, and then Ashoka got born, and so she said, now I am free of sorrow, and Ashoka got his name as Ashoka, means no sorrow. Got it? So this is all about the first beginning of Bindusara and the Ashoka. Now come to the next point. Ashoka reign and Dhamma. Ashoka reign was characterized by a series of military campaigns. As I have told you, he was the one who was expanding the empire to the new heights, to the greater heights. Okay, so he was seeing a military campaigns, and there is a possibility or there is a story about him that he killed his 100 brothers. He killed his 100 brothers. Basically, the time in which he was living, there was a tradition that if the king has several sons, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If the king has several sons, like here I have given you example of 6 sons, got it? Then the question was, who will become a next ruler? To ensure this thing, there was only a one way, that these all sons were required to prove their ability to rule the kingdom. But this ability was always shown by killing and then conquering. Killing and then conquering. There was no appropriate way and appropriate behavior that the king would decide who would become a next ruler. After the death of king, all these were required to fight with each other, and the winner, who would be the winner, will get the kingdom. So there was that reason, basically. Got it? So it is said that Ashoka killed his 100 brothers, and then he got the kingdom, or he got the area. Okay. And in between his conquest against his brothers, he was supported by Radhagupta, who was the minister of Bindusar. Okay, so Radhagupta was the minister of Bindusar who supported Ashoka in his conquest to the throne. Okay, also Ashoka got supported by Chanakya, who also supported his grandfather Chandragupta Maurya to get the kingdom. Got it? Now, come to the next point. Actually, as I have told you that Ashoka was expanding the empire. Suppose if that was the Magad empire size when Ashoka got kingdom, then soon he made it to this size. Okay, so he was expanding the empire very rapidly, and in between them he got a challenge from the southern side of his empire. Let's understand this whole procedure or whole event which was taking place on that time. Suppose if it was Magad and the Magad was expanding here, there and there, then they would also try to conquer this side. But there was a one kingdom called Kalinga in present day Odisha. The Kalinga kingdom was giving a challenge to the Magad expedition and also poses a great threat to the Magad. So Ashoka and Chanakya plus their nobles, or you can say their ministers, had a one common dream to conquer the Kalinga. Okay, they were getting success in western side, in northern side, and in eastern side, but when it's come to the southern side, they were getting a serious challenge by the Kaling. Okay, so to overcome them, they decided to attack Kaling war. They decided to launch an attack on Kaling. Okay, and that attack comes under the term brutal Kaling war, because the Magad army and the Kaling army, the Magad army and the Kaling army fought together in a very brutal way that many people got killed. And from this side, the Ashoka got the Kaling. But after seeing this destruction, after seeing these dead bodies and this mass destructions in the life of the people, he decided to renouncing violence and adopting a policy of non-violence, which we called Ashoka Dharma. So, what was Ashoka Dharma? Let's have a look over it. Ashoka propagated his principles of governance and moral teachings through inscriptions carved on pillars and rocks throughout his empire. Ashoka basically said, we should follow a dharma which states respecting elders, then follow moral values, then helping poor, then giving grants to priests and Brahmins. So these four were one of the points of the Ashoka Dharma. Okay, and he wanted people to understand these things, so that's why in his entire empire he built many pillars like this. These lines were basically pillars. Okay, in this entire empire he built various pillars on which these teachings were grabbed on. Okay, so that people could see these pillars and could get the knowledge of the Ashoka Dharma. Okay, and these pillars were come under the common terms called edicts of Ashoka. Got it? So basically, Ashoka Dharma or Dharma promoted moral values, compensation, social welfare, and religious tolerance, patronized various religious sects. It simply means that the Hindus, Jains, Buddhists, and other minor religions could have been coexisted and flourished under Ashoka. Okay, so it is all about the Ashoka's Dharma. Okay, then decline and aftermath of the Mauryan Empire. After Ashoka's death, the Mauryan Empire faced internal strife and external invasions, just because there were only three great rulers of Mauryan Empire, like Chandragupta Maurya, then Bindusara, then Ashoka. Okay, so these were the strong rulers. But after death of Ashoka, the upcoming rulers were not so powerful to contain this large territory of Mauryan Empire. Okay, due to this, various kingdoms like from this side, from this side, from this side, or from this types launched attack on Mauryan capital or Mauryan area, and that's how the Mauryan Empire got shortened to this size only. And their last ruler was Brihadrat, who was assassinated by his military commander called Vishwamitra Shung, and he was the founder of Shung dynasty, which ruled after Mauryans till Guptas. Got it? So this is all about the decline and aftermath of the Mauryan Empire. Legacy. The Mauryan Empire left a lasting impact of Indian history and administration, as I have told you, that they were ruling the vast area of the India, and their various policies were get adopted by the smaller kingdom, which was once a part of Mauryan Empire. Establish a model of centralized governments with a well-organized administration system. Ashok emphasizes on dharma, moral principles, social welfare, and continues to influence the ethical and spiritual values of Indian society. Got it? Simply means that they had a centralized form like the king, then the minister, then the army, then the local administration, and then the people. It was the flow of administration. Okay. And also they emphasized on dharma, moral principles, and social welfare after the Ashoka, or during the Ashoka, after the Kalinga War. Kalinga War. Got it? Now just have a look over there for their kingdom extension. Their kingdom expansion. So their kingdom was expanded to the northwest part of India, to eastern part, to central part, and up to southern part. Okay. And they also named the areas and their capitals, which came in exams for various times. So these capitals were like, number one is Uttarpant, then Avanti Rashtra, then Dakshinapant, then Prachi. The Uttarpant area represents the northwestern part. With the capital Takshila. Avanti Rashtra represents the central part with capital Ujjain. Dakshinapant represents the south part with capital Swarnagiri. Prachi represents the eastern part with capital Patali Putra. Okay. So this is all about the Mauryan Empire. Now let's come to the Gupta Empire. Okay. So the Guptas came after Mauryans. The Mauryans. Then came Gupta. Okay. And let's have a look about Gupta Empire. The Gupta Empire was an ancient Indian dynasty and ruled over the significant part of Indian subcontinent during its golden age, and that's why it is called as a golden age. Actually, the Gupta age is often considered as an age of great discoveries in Indian studies or in Indian academic context, like the art, like the science, like the mathematics, literature, and philosophy. These topics were getting flourished during the Gupta period. Okay. And also the one thing was happening like the Arabian world. Arabian world, and this is the Indian world. Okay. And this was the European world. The Indians were developing some things. The Arabians were also developing something. The Arabians were coming to India. The Indians were going to Arabians. Okay. And the whole process was going on of exchanging ideas in the terms of art, science, mathematics, literature, and philosophy. And the Europeans had an access to Arabian areas, so they were exploring the Indian knowledge by the Arabian Peninsula or by the Arabian countries. Got it? So all these things were happening during the time period of Gupta. During the time period of Guptas. Got it? And kindly add one more point here, that the medical discoveries were also going on there. Got it? The medical texts were designing and the medical texts were getting exchanged with the Arabian world and thereafter with the European world indirectly. Now come to the next point. It's like origin and rise of Gupta Empire. Gupta Empire was founded by Shrigupta, who laid the foundation in the dynasty, and later the 4th century CE, his successor Ghatotkacha expanded the kingdom's territory. Basically, the Shrigupta was the founder and the Ghatotkacha was the earliest one who expanded. Many times a question asked in the exams that who was the founder of Gupta Empire? Okay. Many times people give the wrong answer. Why it is, I will tell you just in a matter of minutes. But remember, whenever the question asks who is the founder of Gupta Empires, always mark Shrigupta. He was the founder of Gupta Empire. And if the question asks who was the first one who expanded the empire, then the answer will be Ghatotkacha. He was the one who expanded the empire. Now, let's find the reason why people always give the wrong answer of this question. Who was the founder of Gupta Empire? The answer is Chandragupta first. Chandragupta first. He was the first prominent ruler of the Gupta dynasty. Remember, he was the first prominent ruler. He was not the founder. And whenever the question asks and the options are giving like Shrigupta and Chandragupta first, people always mark him. And the answer is wrong because Shrigupta was the one who founded the empire. Chandragupta first was the first prominent ruler, was not the founder of the empire. Second thing is that, please remember, Chandragupta first and Chandragupta Maurya, they both are different from each other. Chandragupta first was the first prominent ruler. First prominent ruler of the Gupta dynasty, whereas Chandragupta Maurya was the founder of Mauryan dynasty. So how to identify? He was the questioner paper is asking about whom. The simple trick is if the Chandragupta first is mentioned, then they were asking for the Gupta, and if Chandragupta Maurya is mentioned, then they are asking about Mauryan Empire. So it's a basic trick you can apply to give the answer of the questions. Mauryan Empire. Got it? Now, let's have a look over him. He was the first prominent ruler, as I have told you. He married Kumar Devi or Kumra Devi, Lichvi princess, which helped him stabilizing alliances and increasing the dynasty's prestige. Actually, there was a tradition on that time. Suppose if the kingdom A is there and the kingdom B is there, and there were several kingdoms like D, E, and F. Okay, it is not possible that all these kingdoms are powerful equally in terms of military, in terms of administration, in terms of economy. Okay, so there was one common practice that kingdom A and kingdom B got aligned together by marrying. Then they both will become AB and merge their military as well as economy and then administration in order to conquer these territories. Okay, and Chandragupta first also practiced this tradition by marriage. Kumra Devi, who was a Lichvi princess, helped in establishing alliances and increasing the dynasty's prestige. Got it? After Chandragupta first, there is a one great ruler of this Gupta dynasty, whom we call Samudragupta. And he also got a title of Indian Napoleon. By V.A. Smith. V.A. Smith gave him a title of Indian Napoleon because when he got the kingdom, suppose it was the Gupta Empire, then he marched towards west. Let me draw it here. Suppose if it's a Gupta Empire, then he marched towards west. He marched towards north. He also marched towards south. But one thing was there, that he conquered all the territories whom he defeated in the west, in the north. But when it's come to south, he only defeated the ruler, but never acquired their territories. Let's have an example of it. Suppose if this was the Samudragupta and these were the three rulers. He was from north, he was from west, he was from south. Then if he defeated all of them, then he will conquer the territory of western one, northern one, but he would only defeated the southern one, but never captured his territory. He followed this tradition. Got it? So he was called the Indian Napoleon, and the coins which he issued, he was shown as playing veena. Veena is a musical instrument like this. Have you ever seen this instrument? So that was the veena. Got it? So in his coins, the coins which he issued, he was depicted or he was shown as playing veena. So if the question asks which of the following ruler was shown as playing veena in his coins, the answer will be Samudragupta first. Okay. Known for his military conquest, as I have told you, patronage of arts and culture, he was an accomplished poet and a musician himself. As he was able to playing veena, then it's clear that he was a musician. He was also a poet, and if he was a poet, then he would be a patronage of art and culture automatically. Got it? The second thing which we should know about him is that he had a court poet named Hari Sen. Okay. And Hari Sen made him the Prayag Paristhi, also called Allahabad Pillar inscription. Got it? So he had a court poet named Hari Sena who made Prayag Paristhi inscription, also known as Allahabad Pillar inscription, for Samudragupta first or Samudragupta, in which the Hari Sen praised him for his military conquest. Got it? Now it is all about the Samudragupta and the Chandragupta first. Now come to the next one. It is called Chandragupta II, also known as Chandragupta Vikramaditya. Was one of the most famous Gupta kings ruling during the late 4th century and the early 5th century. Let me tell you one thing. Actually, that person, Chandragupta Vikramaditya, or the Chandragupta first, got it? He did not get direct throne. Before him, the ruler was Ramgupta. Okay. And Ramgupta was his elder brother. So, it is said that Ramgupta was little bit coward. So, when Ramgupta got a seat or got a throne, then the Shakya ruler, also we call them Scythians. The Shakya ruler or the Scythians threatened him and demanded that Ramgupta should send his wife to Shakya ruler if he want to avoid war. Got it? And that person, Ramgupta, got agree over it. That he decided to send his wife to the Shakya ruler in order to avoid the war with them. Okay. But the Chandragupta II or the Vikramaditya somehow got succeed to liberate the wife of Ramgupta. Ramgupta's wife got liberate, and also he killed Shakya ruler. Later, he also killed the Ramgupta and acquired the throne of Gupta dynasty. Got it? And to mark the victory of him over the Shakya rulers, he issued silver coins as well. He issued silver coins to mark the victory of Chandragupta Vikramaditya over the Shakya ruler. Okay, so this is the basic things about the Vikramaditya, about the Chandragupta first. Got it? Also, the Chandragupta first or the Chandragupta second, the Chandragupta second was very famous for one thing also, that he had the 9 gems in his court. He had the 9 gems in his court, who were called. He also had 9 gems which were called Navratna. And these gems had their names as Amar Sinha, Kalidas, Varamira, then Varuchi, then Harisena, then Vital Bhatt, then Dhanvantri, then Shanku, then Kaha Panka. So these were the 9 gems of his court. These were the 9 gems basically. First one, Amar Sinha, Kalidas, Varamira, Varachi, Harisen, Vital Bhatt, Dhanvantri, Shanku and Kaha Panaka. Vital Bhatt. Got it? So this was all about the Chandragupta II. Now let's come to the next point. Gupta Administration Society. Gupta Empire had a centralized administration with well-organized bureaucratic system. Basically, they had a centralized, or we can say semi-centralized. Means the king was there, but king did not control the entire empire by his own. There were several small kingdoms also. Kingdom 1, Kingdom 2, Kingdom 3, Kingdom 4, Kingdom 5. These kingdoms were allowed to manage their internal affairs, but these all kingdoms were required to pay homage to the one kingdom, which was Gupta Empire. Got it? So they had a semi-centralized system. Society was divided into the Brahmins, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudras. As I had told you that they were the followers of basically Hinduism. And in Hinduism, there are the Varnas as per the Vedic text. Okay. So there were so many Varnas there, like the Brahmins, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudras. There were 4 Varnas and also there were Jatis. Got it? They were Jatis also. Then the Gupta rulers followed Hinduism and religious tolerance was practiced during their religions. As I have told you, they were basically the followers of the Hinduism, but they also gave chances to Jainism and Buddhism to get flourished. Got it? Now, Gupta culture and achievements. The Gupta period witnessed a flourishing of art and architecture with the construction of exquisite temples and stupas. Their literature reached new heights during the Gupta period, like Abhijanaksha Kuntalam and Meghaduttams. These both were written by Kalidas. Abhijana Shakuntalam and the Meghduttam, and Kalidas was one of the Navratan of Vikramaditya, or you can say Chandragupta II. Got it? Now come to the next slide. Science and mathematics. Gupta scholars made a significant contributions to the mathematics, including the concept of zero and decimal systems like Aryabhat. We all know that the Aryabhat was the one who founded the zero, and the Aryabhat was during the Gupta period. Okay. And the Guptas had a coin system like the gold coins, which we called dinar, and the silver coins, which we called rupak. Rupak was a name for silver coins. Okay. Rupak basically. R-U-P-A-K. Rupak coins, which were the silver coins and first issued by Chandragupta II. Also we called him Vikramaditya. Got it? And kindly note the fact that they also had a practices of land grants. Okay. They donate the land to the Brahmins and other religious and non-religious persons. Got right? Got it? And they maintain an economy which was land oriented. And so that's why they also had 5-fold land classification. Okay, it means that the entire land which they had, like that was the entire land, then they would divide this land in 5 categories, like 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So they had a 5-fold land classification. Got it? Thereafter, we come to a decline of the empire. The decline started in the late 15th century due to the internal conflicts, regional revolts and external invasions by the Huns and other Central Asians. Actually, during the Sakandragupta, he was the last great ruler of the Gupta Empire. If this is India, then this is the Middle East. Ami is the Middle East and this is India. Huns and many other tribes came to India. They attacked the western border. Okay. And during this time, there was an internal conflict. Internal conflict in Gupta Empire, or you can say in Gupta's family, due to which they were unable to defend their western territories. The western part was lost to the hands of the Middle East people, whom we called Huns and the other Central Asian tribes. Okay. Somehow the Sakandragupta was able to stop them by coming this side. But after Sakandragupta, the followers were weak and not able to hold territory for long duration, and they were overthrown. The Huns invasions, particularly by Tormana and Mihirkula, led to the significant territorial losses. As I have told you, that the Huns with other Central Asian tribes attacked the western border, and if this was the Gupta Empire, their western territory got lost to the hands of the Huns, and their internal conflicts led other empires or led other smaller kingdoms to attack the Gupta empires, like this Empire 1, Empire 2, Empire 3, and that's how the Gupta Empire got declined. Got it? Now, legacy. The Gupta Empire left a lasting impact, as I have told you, like art, science, maths, literature, philosophy, medical, etc. was get flourished during their time. So they left a lasting impact on Indian history, culture and administration. Period is often regarded as a high point in ancient Indian civilization, known for its cultural and intellectual achievements, also referred as Golden Age. So if the question comes in the exam that which of the following dynasty known as the Golden Age dynasty, then the answer will be Gupta dynasty. So in this lecture, we have covered about the Mauryan Empire and the Gupta Empire. In our next lecture, we will cover about the medieval part of the Indian history. Till then, thank you.